And I saw that back here. It looked like it had a better chance for some rotation, especially with the reds and greens. See how they're coupled back here around Worthington, but we didn't get the warning until it was about in Amherst. So it was making its way eastward, and as it came into that area, there may have been some rotation there, but it does not look as impressive to me. There have been some very powerful winds with these storms. So they've come eastward tonight. So whether or not you get a tornado or just getting wind gusts, you're getting some strong winds that are knocking down trees and power lines. Still, let's take this one seriously, even though I'm not seeing as much rotation right now with this storm. So it may not be a tornado. You're still going to get some of those gusty winds. It's moving east at 55 miles per hour. So this thing is screaming along. This is the center of the storm that's moving this way. It's going to get to you in Petersham and Barrie before 8:30, so 8:22 to 8:26. And that's why this tornado warning extends until 8:30 tonight, and that's what we're watching for right now. It's not the only cell out there, but it's the one that's the most important because it has that potential to be producing a tornadic rotation inside this storm. Now, we go back and forth between the radar sites. It's going to change to different colors. This is from the Albany radar site, and that's the Taunton radar site, ours in Massachusetts. Thing is, though, we're in that part of the state where both these radar beams are shooting a few thousand feet up in the sky. So you're right on the cusp between them. It's sort of a hole in the radar coverage here in New England, a known hole, but something we have to watch for. And what we do is take these, and when we're seeing that rotation, we have to assume if it's strong enough, it can be making it down to ground level based on the bottom of the cloud height, as well as how strong these storms have been. Now, as these cells have come across, I'm going to back up just a little bit, and you're going to see a lot of the words on here. I'll take them off of here. A lot of lightning, a lot of thunderstorm activity. As these have come out of New York, we know there's been incredible damage in places like Rome, New York. That's out in the central part of the central to western part of the state, and they are likely dealing with what looks like a tornado touchdown there. I saw some rotation with these storms coming into Vermont earlier this evening. Those are in New Hampshire now, but they're not any more rotation with them. But they are severe thunderstorms moving through the Lakes region, Manchester, New Hampshire as well, and Concord into southern New Hampshire, and that warning continues tonight. Here in Massachusetts, we have severe thunderstorm warnings in Middlesex County and in Worcester County. These actually looks like this one's getting right into Essex County now as well. We're going to be watching these cells come across the area. Lots of lightning and heavy rain, of course. Lightning is always dangerous, but also some gusty winds. And then we're still going to monitor the one that has the tornado warning on it right back here. One thing to notice with the structure of these storms, whether or not we still continue to have rotation, notice how it bows out like that. That's what we call a bowing line structure, and that is indicative of some very strong winds that are going to be coming across the area. So we're going to keep a close eye on that. But we have to keep on watching too is what's happening with the rotation in these storms. And what I can do is switch back over to that rotation, the velocity scan to see if there's rotation there. Red is toward or away from the radar, green is toward the radar. Depends which radar we're looking at. This is the one from Taunton, so south of Boston. So red would be going this way and green this way, so you'd have a rotation in here, but it is a broad circulation, not the tight couplet you look for an actual tornado touching the ground. Now, if we switch over to the Albany radar site, you're going to get the reds away from the site and greens toward the site, so you're going like this, and it just doesn't look as impressive to me at this point. So it's something we'll keep a close eye on, of course, because there is some broad circulation. There was enough there for the National Weather Service to say, hey, this one looks like it may have a tornado with it. We're going to put a tornado tag on it, a tornado warning, and let people know this is coming your way. It's going toward the northern part of the Quabbin Reservoir. Now again, if I back this up, I saw a better rotation. You can see the brighter greens and reds in here a little while ago, but it does not look like it's as impressive anymore. So we're going to see if the National Weather Service continues that tornado warning as it makes its way into Worcester County this evening. The stats on this are that it goes until 8:30 officially, a tornado warning until 8:30. The warnings for the severe thunderstorms are varied. Some end at 8:30, some 8:45, some 9 o'clock, just depends which county we're dealing with. But the tornado warning is within that severe thunderstorm warning area. So you have two different things happening at the same time. All of the yellow shapes you're seeing there are severe thunderstorm warnings. Again, those go to different times. For instance, if we look at this one here that is coming through into Middlesex County, this one goes until 8:15. Was when that one's supposed to drop, so it's in a minute away, but the tornado warning is within that area too. There's a tornado warning, a severe thunderstorm warning south of that tornado warning, and that one is going to go until 9 o'clock tonight. So they really vary in time. But the one we're most concerned about is that cell that was indicating some rotation and looked like it might be bringing tornadic circulation into our area. There's still some green and red in there. You can see that happening right here, right? So this is toward the radar site in Albany. That's away from the radar site, so you'd have a circulation here. but it's just not very tight. And typically when we see storms that have a couplet of green and red really close together, brightly especially, that couplet is indicative of rotation. And this is looking like a really broad area of rotation. But when I switch it back over to the Taunton radar site, again, reds away, greens towards. You have that circulation. It looks a little bit more impressive in here, but still not overly impressive, just something to keep on watching. But those bright green colors we keep on seeing, they keep on telling us that there's some strong winds with this, even if there isn't the tornado actually happening. So what we're seeing from the National Weather Service is this is all radar, and thank you, Mike, this is all radar indicated. We're not getting any indication, no ground truth to this. I'm not seeing anybody telling us there's actually a tornado on the ground at this point. So if you have that information, please send it along, especially if you have any video that could show that rotation that's happening. But what we're seeing here is just radar indicated. I shouldn't say just radar indicated. Doppler radar is super at picking up these circulations, the winds, how fast they're going, and which direction they're moving in. And that's how we can relay to you when there's a circulation that could be producing a tornado with these storms. And that's what we're seeing here in central Massachusetts right now. But again, I'm not seeing a real impressive signature for rotation. When we're seeing those reds and greens together, you have to look at it for some rotation. But this is a very broad circulation, if anything. And when it's broad, that doesn't mean you have a giant tornado. That just means you don't have it tightened up enough to really produce that funnel cloud and produce a tornado. But you may have a supercell that's still rotating out there, and something that we'll have to watch very closely. I've seen storms today that weren't even tornado warned that looked more impressive than this to me. So I'm not overly concerned about a tornado at this moment. I am concerned, though, because of the bright colors you're seeing here for some strong wind gusts. We have reports of numerous trees and power lines down in the town of Athol, for instance. That's to the north of this tornado warning, but in a severe thunderstorm warning. That happened a little earlier this evening, so we had that happen. And notice that severe thunderstorm warning that was in here that I was telling you was supposed to end at 8:15 has dropped off, so it's no longer ended. So there's a shape here, this yellow, for a severe thunderstorm warning, another one over here, and then one in here. But this place, these parts in here are not in any warning at this point. And then there's the red. That's the tornado warning happening from Hampshire to Worcester County and is active, and it's just been dropped. So I've been telling you that the tornado warning, it didn't look very impressive to me for rotation, and just like that, the National Weather Service is in agreement with that, and they've dropped that tornado warning. So we're back to a severe thunderstorm warning. I'll keep watching these very closely. Tornado warning is the one thing I've got to come on the air and talk to you about, even when the All-Star game is on. But as long as we stay in just a severe thunderstorm warning situation, I'll continue to scroll on the bottom of the screen any information you need to know. Enjoy the game, and we'll see you afterwards.